That's some good music.
Yeah, do you hear the background music?
Yeah, I hear it in the background.
Yeah, that's
like
good.
the music that you just started playing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Seems like we're live right now.
Awesome.
So it's. Oh, I gotta.
Is the screen for the video meant to be like black right now?
Remember what I showed you earlier about what this?
Yeah.
That's what it's looking like right now. It's actually not just
Oh,
black.
okay.
So they're not just seeing like a blank. Like they see our avatars with like a little like TV screen in the middle.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Here I'm going to also. I gotta make sure I advertise this shit.
Yeah, well. Yeah. I'll send me a link and I'll do that too.
Yo, what up, guys?
Yo.
Currently just setting up some shit first, making sure this is out to everybody. Hey, Surf, I'm glad you're streaming because I was kind of mad. Whoa. Y'all good, bud? What's the music in the background? It's like its sister location, like Cups and Night soundtrack. Okay.
Pretty good. Pretty good beat.
Oh yeah. This is something that said like this is what Dako usually streams, so is like this type of music. This is something that said like. Okay.
All right, I'll send the link to a few of my servers.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Just gonna also wait for a few people to hop in before we officially start shit and actually like kind of explain to everybody what's going on here.
Yeah.
Here, I'll even advertise in Kosa's server.
Should we do it in Noodles chat as well?
Yeah, I can do that real quick here.
Okay.
Sure, Noodles wouldn't mind.
Yeah, not at all. He'd be cool with it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Oops. I accidentally. So, how's everybody's nights doing? Yeah. If you're... Oh, Jerry, you're talking about the radio thing on the screen? That's not what the music's coming from. Yeah, I'm just playing background music right now. Okay. You think like given like probably like give it like a good 5 minutes or so before we officially start things?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I'll try to get a few more servers in as well.
Mm-hmm. Here, I should probably tweet this out as well.
Alright, I sent it out to a couple people.
Yeah. Okay. Surfbone is the GOAT? Facts. Hardcore facts. Yeah. Alrighty. Going to go to, yep. And 12. There we go.
That's everyone.
Okay. There we go. I tweeted it out. Alrighty.
Someone said FNAF is superior to Carcazoo.
That might be facts.
Furry game.
Furry game.
Someone's spitting off you.
For some people it is. For some people it literally is just the furry game. And it's like, okay, this justifies me in making some furry porn. And
It's just
people
an
will be okay
excuse
with
for
it.
them.
Yeah, and they're just like, have you seen that one tweet? I'm pretty sure you've seen it. It was like a video where it's like he's just like looking at like it was like a toy Chica. It's like, damn, I don't fucking care how old that robot is. I'm fucking that robot.
Yeah, I see that.
I haven't talked FNAF in so long, but is Five Nights at Freddy's 2 the prequel or sequel to? It is the prequel.
Yeah.
It's confirmed in the fifth night. It's a prequel.
Wait, so
Are you bringing God on this stream? Not on this stream. I'm not gonna bring God here. I mean, I guess we got the closest thing to God. We got Kratos on stream, so.
The God of War, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. You think that's good?
I think give it like another. I think give it one more minute.
One more minute? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
By the way, Surfbone, I think.
Shoot. True.
So, something very important, Surfbone. I think Aku asked you a question in chat there.
Aku?
About yeah, his most recent comment. It's who's hotter to you?
Chica or Roxanne? Like glam rock Chica? Oh, okay. I do remember like Nate was telling me for some reason like a lot of people for some reason were just simping over fucking Roxanne. Like a lot of people for some reason. Like, which I'm actually, yeah, it's a bit much for my taste. Like,
yeah, they're robots made out of metal and shit, you know.
But I'm assuming you're probably talking about glam rock Chica. If I'm gonna say who I think is hotter, I don't know if I want to answer that question.
Don't do it, Surfbone.
Yeah, I'm not gonna answer that question. Rule 34, Chief. Yeah. Is reading the books required for the games? No. You do not need to read the books in order to understand the games.
Yeah.
Funny enough, one of the short stories in the books actually is pretty much a retelling of the third game, like the Five Nights at Freddy's 3, where we have Springtrap. Which me and Kratos are definitely going to have to actually go through the books and read them ourselves, because I'm pretty sure we're going to come to a much like different interpretation than most people are and realize what is like some of the more OP stuff that's actually from the books. Because when I like reference making a video about FNAF floor and like how like what kind of like OP abilities these characters have, it's mainly referring to the books. There's so much weird shit that goes on in the books. And we'll actually be mentioning a lot of that during this stream because of the main thing we're going to be going over, which I think it's a good time to mention that now. So to kind of give some context for a lot of people, so obviously you've seen the title of the video, Security Breach, which is one of the most recent FNAF games that just came out. And for those who, for a lot of people, they may not, if you've never seen the like Security Breach, this may not make sense to a lot of you. I suggest going to play the game or either watching some gameplay of it. It's really good. Obviously there's some bugs with the game, but mainly, so when me and Kratos were just doing our own research and trying to like theorize about some aspects of the game, mainly in regards to the main antagonist, Vanny, right? Which is like the bunny, like female bunny girl. Right.
Yeah.
We noticed a lot of people, like a lot of the other streamers and YouTubers, were just coming to the conclusion that Vanessa, who's the night guard during the game, and Vanny, who's the bunny girl, are both the same character for whatever reason. And the more and more we looked into other like pieces of media and what their arguments were, they're just straight up garbage, like. And it's pretty bad. And we've just found some really damning evidence to what their arguments are, and just kind of just full on just proving why Vanny and Vanessa are not the same person. And I've pretty much figured out, like, at least from mine's, like, our theory right now is that, at least you can go into this, like, this is our premise, is that Vanny is a doppelganger of Vanessa, and less so not like, because obviously there's some people that do think that Vanny and Vanessa are different, but some say like, oh, it's like, originally we thought it's like, oh, maybe it's Vanessa's sister, like long lost sister, or it was her mother that we've never seen before, which are entirely valid, and I can see the case for both of them. But the more we looked into it, it just seemed like doppelganger made the most sense, because you can actually point out some flaws with the whole, like, Vanny art is just like the sister and the mother, which we'll probably bring up in this stream anyway. He said, well, I thought Vanny was glitch trap possessing Vanessa. Yeah, that's what we were all led to believe before this game came out, right? Like,
in Help Wanted.
That's why, in Help Wanted. Because that's something, like, I've talked to Stryker, one of our buddies named Stryker. Like, that's where we came in thinking that's what it was going to be, right? Was because that's what all the evidence led to, because there was no like hardcore like evidence. We didn't know anything about the game besides from what the trailer showed us, and then the game came out, and now people are coming to all these weird interpretations, some of them vastly more different than others. Some of them are just straight up fan fiction, like they're not even supported by the game, like, at all. I think one of the ones that we're about to watch is not necessarily fan fiction. I'm sure
that's ass.
Yeah, but it's still pretty bad. Let's see. Scott loves to make it more complicated than it should by giving multiple characters the same name for no reason. Yeah, that is pretty true. Cough, Jeremy. Yeah, that is very true.
I mean, his little statement about, like, the phone guy is just an example of that.
Oh my god. If anyone's read the Freddy files, they're straight up, I'm pretty sure we have it in our DMs. Let me go grab that real quick. Let me just read off exactly what it says, because although it's just hardcore confirmed within, like, the second game that it's a prequel, there's just
I'll post it.
Oh, do you have it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. I'll post it in DMs.
Okay. This is when it's talking about the phone guy. It says, sounds like phone guy is still alive. So this game likely takes place before the events of the last one. That or phone guy is immortal. Like, what? Why would you even present that as an alter? Just say that it's a prequel, man. Like, why did you have to go out and say either that or phone guy is just straight up immortal? Like, he may have just survived getting killed in the first game somehow. We don't know how.
Yeah. Turn into a shish kebab.
Yeah. Is this going to be uploaded? I'm thinking it's going to stay uploaded for a while. It depends on how well it does. I don't imagine it doing it super well, but I hope it does, because I like talking about this series. So, okay, I think
that's
pretty much
time.
I think this seems like we've talked about everything. We're now going to be watching someone that it's called Super Horror Bro. He made a video called, like, the story and the endings of the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Explained. And my issue especially with this video, is that the title is just super misleading, and it's like when you title something like, oh, it's explained, you're acting like it's hardcore confirmed that your theory is just, it's not even a theory. You're not even saying theory in the title, which is most of the FNAF videos. They're titled theory because it's not like, oh, you can justify and there's some evidence behind it, but it's not concrete. This title is acting like it is just concrete. And you have to watch the video to realize, no, it's not. These are all just theories.
Something worse than that, Surfbone, is the fact that throughout the video, like, as he's just talking, a little box, like black box, will appear on screen where he goes, "in my opinion." So, like, you can tell the arrogance of this dude is just fucking absolutely crazy, because he's trying to say his opinion is like this objective interpretation that he's trying to enforce on everyone. Yeah. We'll explain why it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong.
And, like, I just want to say this as well, like, just to point out to everybody, is, this is all just for, like, we may just, like, seem like, oh, we're just shitting on this dude for coming up with, like, some dumb arguments for the series, but, like, everybody, this is, like, it's all fun and games. It's, like, no hard feelings. We don't hate Super Horror Bro or anything. We're just literally giving our 2 cents on the whole matter and kind of just giving our arguments to everybody and just, like, saying, like, this is what we think of it, and this is why we think it's more solid than this Vanny and Vanessa are the same person type of deal. So
it's not even just this guy either. Like, a lot of people, I've seen at least like 80% of the community at this current point holds these same beliefs. Whether it's a difference, like a tiny difference in his argument or whatever, like, everyone practically holds this belief set. So
yeah. Okay. So in just a minute here, we're going to just get straight into it. And
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna stop the background music real quick. And I'm just gonna now basically go here, turn on, and let's see. No. Okay. Alrighty. So, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, I'll answer this one question before. Thoughts on game theories, FNAF thoughts? I personally think out of everybody in the FNAF community, he's somewhat like, he's one of the people that has some of the most, like, better takes in the entire community. Like, I don't think anyone's ever came up with shit better than he has. Granted, there was a time when it took him a long time to realize that the crying child in FNAF 4 was not Michael Afton.
Yeah.
And because if true, then he was literally it's just like, again, he would have been dead this entire time, but, like, it just makes sense for him to just be Foxy Bro. Like, eventually he figured that out, but I think his current he's still like finishing up the game right now, so it's not like he's had any, like, concluding thoughts or anything. I haven't watched any of his gameplay yet, but I might after the stream to see what he thinks about certain shit. But
if he does say some dumb shit, then we probably will be, like, responding to it as well.
Yeah, just to see what he says. All right, so you ready, Chris? Yeah. All right, let's watch this.
Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in today's video, we take a look at the story and endings of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. This video will provide a quick and snappy recap of events leading up to the 6 possible story outcomes awaiting lost child Gregory, his animatronic guardian Freddy, and the villainous security guard turned killer bunny, Vanny. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the mysteries of Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex.
Okay, let's see.
FNAF Security Breach takes place within the newly built Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex, the largest pizzeria Fazbear Entertainment has ever built. It's so big, in fact, that the building functions more like a mall, with a daycare, disco arcade, many restaurants, a golf course, laser tag arena, the list goes on and on. The Mega Pizzaplex is also home to a brand new roster of rocking animatronic mascots, including a new incarnation of Freddy Fazbear himself. Everything is going well until one night during their stage show, the animatronics malfunction and the show ends early. Everyone is sent home, but one guest stays, a child named Gregory. Upon rebooting, Freddy discovers Gregory hiding inside his chest compartment.
Also, did he just say that the animatronics, like as in plural? That
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Only Freddy had a malfunction.
Yeah, like in that scene, you can see all the other like animatronics just walking around him, like curious as to what just happened.
Yeah, and also Vanessa, like either like Vanessa or Vanny. I honestly might make if he brings up the scene later, which I honestly don't remember if he does. I might just give my 2 cents on why that might be Vanny actually. Well, I'll just say for now, Vanessa like literally goes up to him and is like you just ruined the show, by the way. You just, like, fucking malfunctioned and just went on the floor and ruined the entire show. And there's even, like, a little, like, one of those, like, little notes that you find throughout the Pizzaplex that literally just says, yeah, it was my daughter's birthday today, and we paid for, like, this super big package that came with the showtime. And then he's like, and then Freddy just upped and like collapsed and ruined my daughter's birthday. It just so yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Another thing as well. It's not really that big of a deal, but I'm in like a nitpicky mood with this guy. So like at the beginning, he said that it's like meant to be like a new incarnation of like Freddy and whatnot, but. If you, interestingly enough, it's actually implied to be like the old Freddy, which is fairly interesting. And I don't think should I bring up like the reasoning to that with the whole molten Freddy thing, or do you think I will say
I feel like some people are obviously joining this stream and don't care about spoilers. So if you don't care about spoilers, you can stay. But if you don't want to like hear any spoilers, then probably shouldn't leave the stream. But yeah, go ahead and you can talk about the Molten Freddy thing if you want.
Yeah. So basically, in one of the endings, which people consider to be like the true ending, right? Is when you go down to fight Burn Trap is his official name, apparently. It's just like a later incarnation of William. But as you go down into the area where you fight Springtrap, you can actually find Molten Freddy just like kind of chilling on the side. And people have actually gone around that area before Freddy falls down into the area, and they've actually seen like the original like OG animatronics from the first game, like inside Molten Freddy. Like they see the old Bonnie suit, they see the old Chica suit and the old Foxy suit, but Freddy isn't there, right? Yeah. And the quote of Freddy as he's walking down is that I've been here before, I am me, right? And then he's like, she brought us here, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, it's obviously referencing like his friends, right? And how like they were like controlled and manipulated and whatnot. So it's very likely that this is the same Freddy from the first game. So
yeah, which is interesting. So Aku said, also small note, by the way, the animatronics clearly have some sort of higher AI. The FNAF universe has to be very far into the future. Well, the FNAF has to be very far into the future, as like right now, like we aren't capable of like what they're currently doing. Like AI isn't currently capable of doing that. Yeah. This is actually hammered in super hard, like in the story Fetch in one of the novels, where there's a literal quote that talks about like this dog, like this animatronic dog that this dude comes across, and literally says like, man, like this thing can like connect to my smartphone, but it looks older than my dad. Like this super old dog animatronic is able to like easily like connect to smartphones and everything. And every time like this kid just like talks about, oh, I want this, he will like bring it back. Like he'll go out and like get it and like bring it back with like stupid accuracy. Like he's like, oh, I want my. There was even like one of the most brutal parts of the entire story was that he literally just, there's one part he's like, oh, he literally grabbed his grandpa's finger and brought it back in his mouth.
What the hell?
And I think one of the most brutal parts of the entire one was he literally brought back his crush like dead. And it's like, oh, I want my. And I'm like, oh
what
my
the
lord,
fuck?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is true, Paulo. Yeah, in the FNAF 2 game, they also have like facial recognition software and being able to detect a predator from a mile away, which I'm pretty sure, like throughout the game, they're just talking about, oh, like we don't like previous employees, and they're very aware of William's presence, and it's very heavily implied that William came back to the FNAF 2 location and brought some kids back into the back and killed them because they're like, oh, the the location is on lockdown right now, and it might be due to like previous employees or something along those lines. But yeah, there's so much shit you can just talk about how like the FNAF universe just has super high tech, like especially just the Fazbear Entertainment just has like. It's like they're just super far ahead of everybody in terms of technology for whatever reason. We could just keep going on, but we've barely even gotten to 1 minute and 30 seconds of this video, so we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
A place normally used for stowing cakes during birthday party events. This child seems to want to avoid being caught by the night guard Vanessa, and so Freddy agrees to help him to the exit before closing time.
I know how to get you out of here. Climb back into my chest cavity. There is still time, but we must hurry. If I am spotted, I will certainly be taken back to my room.
Freddy instinctively looks out for this child, acting more like a human than a machine, covering for Gregory at every turn.
Okay. Look, we're like 15 minutes from closing and some kid is sneaking around backstage. If you see anything, notify me immediately. I already alerted the others.
Okay, that's something I also wanted to talk about with you. I think I've already told you. It's like, Vanessa is the only night guard there, right? And she's like going around. Why would she need the help? Like, it just seems weird to ask the entertainers of the Pizzaplex to help you out when you literally have hundreds upon hundreds of other security bots also searching around for this kid. Like,
take note that the animatronics kill you when they capture you as well.
And it's like, I've already alerted the others. Like, it's not like you can talk to the freaking security bots or anything. Like, you can talk to them. She literally is doing that right now, but like, it just seems like Vanny knows that they're being manipulated and everything. So that's why I'm more personally thinking about that this might be Vanny here and not Vanessa. Because if we're again going with it, the whole like doppelganger thing, and she's like, we already know that like, oh, she looks very similar, like stupidly similar to Vanessa. So she can just walk around and pretend to be them.
Yeah. And we actually, we'll bring it up later, but we actually have an image that portrays that as well. Specifically, but we'll get into that in a bit.
I already alerted the others.
I told you she was after me.
I said nothing. I will keep you safe. Let us go.
Unfortunately, the star animatronics Roxanne Wolf, Glamrock Chica, and Montgomery Gator, along with many of the other worker bots, have been hacked, entering their security mode. Although something is not quite right with them. They seem unhinged and bloodthirsty, seeking out trespassers and killing them on sight. But strangely, Freddy does not have this same urge to kill. After failing to reach the exit on time, Gregory becomes trapped inside the Pizzaplex as lockdown protocol initiates. Forced to reunite with Freddy, the two set out to find an alternate exit. Along the way, Gregory is caught by Vanessa and discovers her twisted alter ego, Vanny.
Green eyes.
I'll bet you think you're real clever, Greg.
Okay, something to note to everybody. So this is Vanessa that's currently on these monitors, right? She's talking to Gregory. Now I just want you to know there's something. If people think that Vanny and Vanessa are the same person, then
Gregory. Yeah,
just
I know your name.
watch
You're in
this real
big
quick.
trouble. This is not the night to be wasting my time. So, you are going to wait right there in Lost and Found until your parents or the police arrive.
It immediately changes to Vanny.
Yeah. I don't know. She may have like that nanotech Stark suit, you know what I'm saying?
Look, we already know, like, man, that would just be funny if that's what people started to argue, is like, oh yeah, she just does have like a Tony Stark nanotech suit that she could just immediately turn into, like, Vanny, just in the split second. Like, that wouldn't be too far off. But we already know from the CDs that she was literally constructing this like a fabric bodysuit herself. So, and like, she's even noted as not being technically savvy either. Like, she only like knows how to do shit on like the computer and things. Vanny is known as the person that's the prodigy hacker that knows how to get into anything. Like,
which is referred to as patient like 46 as well within like the CDs. Like, there's two different patients there, by the way.
Yeah. 71
and 46. Like, and it's clear which one is Vanessa because the therapist refers to her as Vanessa.
And she talks like, but like patient 71 doesn't talk the entire time. And I bet that he might just bring, I don't know, we might even need to listen to his like his explanation of the 10 tapes, but I don't know.
A quick note as well here is that Vanny is typically portrayed as having like red or yellow eyes as well. So just keep that in mind whenever you see her like skulking around in the video or whenever she's on camera and whatnot.
Are you having fun yet?
While Vanessa is a short-tempered security guard, Vanny is far worse. Dressing in a rabbit's costume, she dances around looking to capture children to use for the dark purposes of the sinister entity controlling her like a puppet. An entity known as Glitchtrap.
Also want to note, again, if for eye color, just note that Glitchtrap's eyes are purple, right?
Yeah.
Also, and the entity controlling Vanny, I wouldn't say he's controlling her, more like just hardcore manipulating her, because we've already seen all the evidence that he's just basically telling her to do all these things and what to do, right? And not that like he just hardcore. It's either because in like the Help Wanted, it's either he literally just takes control of you or body swaps with you, but like it just seems like, especially whenever like shit that's like referring to like Vanny and him having like a conversation, it's just like he doesn't have full control. So
yeah,
we'll have more on this creepy character later. An interesting side note about Vanny is that she radiates a glitching effect whenever she gets too close. Not only does this make her hard.
Did you see?
I've never seen her run before.
Vanny
What
is
the
that
hell?
she radiates a glitching effect whenever.
Look at her.
She should have runs.
It turns around.
She looks a little bit taller than Vanessa as well. I'm not gonna lie.
Look how tall she is.
She gets too close.
She's a giant.
Not only does this make her hard to see during gameplay, it also prevents animatronics, including Freddy, from seeing her. This is why Vanessa, and by extension Vanny, are never attacked by security bots. An override is in place to prevent this. Gregory ends up becoming separated from Freddy several times throughout the course of the game, and as the hours tick by, notices that Freddy and the other animatronics are becoming more and more cracked and withered, as if something is draining them of their power and corrupting their programming. It falls to Gregory to then save Freddy as he begins to power down. Eventually, after making it to the parts and service department, Gregory manages to save Freddy and the two can continue their adventure. We also observe another conversation between—
Wait. he saves, but why does he talk about, oh, he saves him and then like puts him here?
Another thing as well, Surfbone.
I may be wrong.
Is it like,
yeah, it's just, I don't know, that just seems weird. I might be misremembering shit. So, what were you saying?
another funny thing with this scene is that because there's a lot of theories that like patient 46 is actually Gregory for some reason.
God, no.
And they try to use like, I know, and whenever they like, and they're like, Gregory is like a hacking genius because he's capable of like reassembling Freddy. It's like, did you not see the first scene where he literally said it looks too complicated for him? Yeah.
And then Freddy's like, he's like, bro, just reconnect the wires. And then he's like, oh, if it's that easy, then yeah, I'll just do it. And he just like, oh yeah, let's keep upgrading you since it's so easy to do so. And like, you're literally being given instruction by the AI, like handy unit, the entire time. So it's not like he is at all
buttons.
Yeah, he's like, alrighty, now put in the hand. Okay, now clasp the hand and like reconnect the wires. Alrighty, now hit these colors in order. Make sure not to mess up. Like, how, like, do you really need to be a hacking god to understand to like, oh yeah, you just need to press a few buttons and put some wires in, literally being given instruction the entire time. So
yeah, it's ridiculous. I see every time I hear, because I think he makes this argument in his video or in like the other tape video or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've seen other people make that argument as well. So I think it was worth just bringing up how ludicrous that is.
Also, like Freddy literally says right here, is like, oh, maybe we can like bring him back to his parents. And then she says, that's the thing, Freddy. There's no record of him, so we don't even know he even has parents. Like, so how would if he can't even like scan Gregory and figure out whether or not he has parents or not, and be like connect? He's like, oh, your file is unknown to me, and then she literally goes back into like looking into his past. It's like, oh, there's literally just no record of him anywhere. Like,
I don't know, Surfbone. You remember in that one ending when he's like sleeping in that cardboard box with like a piece of newspaper? Maybe he gets up every day and he visits the psychologist. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. They're just like, you know what, bro? We just need to, like, why are you outside in that box? Like, I don't know.
Between the Nessa and Freddy, where she states the Pizzaplex has no record of Gregory in their database.
Yep.
I found him earlier and locked him up in Lost and Found.
That is great news. He can be returned to his parents.
He can't. Turns out, there's no record of him.
Gregory also comes across a series of animatronic schematics for Chica, Roxy and Monty in the Parts and Service lab. He decides if they are to survive until 6 AM when the doors of his mall unlock once more, then Freddy will need upgrades from his good friends. And so begins the quest to fully upgrade Freddy. This quest leads Gregory into the neon-soaked maze of Phaser Blast, where he acquires the Phaz Blaster, and the swampy depths of Monty Golf, where he sees.
I'm just realizing, I feel like he's just stretching out the video. Like, why do you? You're talking about the endings, dude. Why do you need to like go over the? I guess it says the stories, but like the story. But I feel like most people would have understood the story at this point. It just seems weird to just go over.
All he had to say was Gregory's walking around with Freddy and they got to like beat the hell out of animatronics. It's been 5 minutes right now. This could have been like a 15-minute video or like a 14-minute video, but I get he does stretch it on a little bit.
Just
seeks out the Phaz Cam. Both of these items can be used as weapons to stun the various animatronic terrors on patrol. Also, while exploring the Pizzaplex, Gregory encounters a series of arcade machines titled Princess Quest. Now, these arcade machines are key to the story of the game, and we will discuss them later in this video. Gregory manages to defeat either Monty or Glamrock Chica, depending on choices the player makes during their adventure. He then upgrades Freddy with the perk acquired from their victory,
Picks off her beak.
Chica's voice box or Monty's claws respectively. But things aren't quite over yet. Gregory is forced to find and fix a robot head in order to face his final challenge at Roxy's Raceway. The repair station is found in a maintenance bay above the Fazcade, and it is here that Gregory comes face to face with a terrifying spider-like animatronic and DJ of this dance club, DJ Music
Breaking
Man.
it down.
Breaking it down.
With the head fixed and fitted to the
Get
robotic
it.
driver of the race car,
This
Gregory
shit's
manages to
brutal.
run down
And then
Roxy and remove her eyes. Freddy is now fully upgraded and the two make a break for the exit as the timer finally ticks over to 6 AM. However, instead of leaving, we do receive the option to put these upgrades to good use. Children have been going missing after all, and if we are to stop Vanny and the culprit behind her mind control, Freddy and Gregory will have to stick around a little longer to tie up some loose ends.
Freddy, it's open, let's go!
No, I cannot exit this facility.
Of course you can! Come on, we can hide you somewhere.
Without a recharge station, my systems would shut down within an hour. It is a safety precaution. It is my design. This
Poor
is
Freddy.
where I must stay. I will miss you.
Freddy, if I leave now, nothing will change, will it? There will be more disappearances.
Yes, I am afraid that is correct. There are areas we have not investigated. Lead the way, superstar.
That's if you choose to stay.
Okay, 77 minutes and we're like almost 8 minutes in and we're finally talking about the endings. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Let's get
Speed
in.
run.
Yeah, it's time to get into this. Honestly, I might just, because he's talking very slow, I might put this at 1.25 times speed.
And so
Yeah, I
we
would
come
as
to the
well.
endings themselves. There are currently 6 known endings at the time of writing
Oh, that's
this
a lot
video.
better.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at each in turn. You see, while not all of these endings are canon, they do all contain valuable information which help explain the overarching story Security Breach aims to tell. Like jigsaw pieces, by themselves you miss the full picture, but combined
These endings seem random and many of them pointless at a glance. In reality, each contain valuable information required to place together the true ending. What?
I guess it's trying to say that like each ending needs to be like put together like a jigsaw piece to come to the conclusion of what the true ending is meant to be.
Which
Which is weird.
yeah, like we don't like, again, the true ending is something, again, we're all theorizing to be, which was kind of just like it glanced on the screen for like a little bit. He showed like a clip of it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not disagreeing that might be the true ending, but it just seems weird that like to say that not all of them are canon when it's just literally something that can happen if you choose to go down that path. If anything, it's just another timeline branch. If anything, it's almost like like go ahead.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, you go on.
okay. I was basically to say like it's almost like how in like the Guardians of the Galaxy game where they where Mantis just talks about, oh, like in another timeline you died here. it's like oh, this is the timeline where you don't die, and it's like, oh, this is the timeline where you gave the inspirational speech, and it's like all this other shit. It's like it's not technically not canon. It's just like all these like things literally can happen. It all depends on what you choose to do. Like, do you want to explore the pizza quest? Do you want to just leave immediately? Do you want to do all this other shit? Like, and some of them require certain for you to like get certain items. So technically, it's just like it's like with the whole because we've had other games where it literally has multiple endings, right? And it's like there's even a time where like Scott was even just directly asked which one is like the true like the more canonical ending in the FNAF 3 game, and he said like he debated about whether or not he wanted to make that like he wanted to tell people what he personally thought would be the true ending, and he decided not to give that away. Which I honestly think probably was a better idea. But
yeah.
So yeah. All these need to be why do some people see it like at a first glance it seems random and pointless?
Yeah,
It's
if you
just-
played through the game and went through all the endings, they wouldn't seem either random or pointless. Like
they follow
unless
the
you're like
course
an
of
idiot.
events. Like, if you
Yeah,
go to
it's not random.
they literally change based on where you decide to even leave too. Like, there's certain like exits that you can do that literally change the course of like the ending, right? So
Yeah.
In everything, and it becomes crystal clear. So let's get started with an analysis of the first ending. The most common ending players will
music's even
unlock
more
during the game is
hop-bopping
this
when
one.
it's better.
Gregory escapes through the front door of
I'm
the
kinda tapping
Pizzaplex
my
and
foot.
remains hunted by
Yeah.
Vanny for the rest of his life. Children continue to go missing, presumably being used to harvest remnants to bring
the missing children Vanny collected up while under Glitch Trap's control were likely used as a remnant source to resurrect William Afton.
Yeah, you talk on that because I'm not familiar with like the novel's terms of remnant and whatnot.
So remnant, I remember that they actually gave a definition of exactly what remnant is, but essentially William Afton experiments, like what he like does with like the Funtime animatronics is that he literally builds them as things that lure away children and then captures them, and then he eventually experiments on them and is like trying to achieve immortality via metal. And eventually he finds remnant, which is basically just like you can inject like your emotions or like agony into a machine and bring it to life. Specifically, I'm pretty sure if I look up here, I might just look it up real quick.
Yeah. If you want, I could probably do it for you so that you're not going around everywhere on the screen.
Yeah. Maybe. For some reason my mouse is being weird. I don't know why. There we go. Okay. So,
I got it up if you want me to read it out.
let's see. Did you find like the
Yeah, it's the wiki's definition. It's what the wiki provides and their
Okay.
sources throughout the series.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, go ahead. You can read it off.
It basically says, word for word, Remnant is a key object in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Remnant is the term for a soul that possesses inanimate objects, making it the reason behind the paranormal occurrences in the animatronics. It is believed that William Afton started his killings as a way to obtain Remnant in order to gain immortality.
Yeah. Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
But that may be the case. Like I'm not denying that might this is honestly, I'm not gonna like really try to retort this theory. This honestly seems fine because that's literally what he was doing prior to these events anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. That's just up in the
back
air.
William
That could be
Afton's
the case.
glitch trap. The key point to take away from this ending, however, is the fate of Gregory. Most children would return home to their parents, but Gregory does not. Instead, he sleeps on the street. But why? Earlier in the game, Vanessa mentions to Freddy that there is no record of Gregory on their system, which means he did not enter the mall as a guest. Instead, he snuck in illegally, hence why at the beginning of the game he was so desperate
fine.
to avoid security.
Yeah.
Gregory doesn't have a home or parents of his own. He was a homeless orphan who entered the Pizzaplex to escape the cruel outside world and get to be a kid for a little while, enjoying the sights and sounds of Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. Unfortunately, he picked the wrong night to do so.
Didn't
The
explain
second
that
ending
at
shows
all.
Gregory and Freddy escaping through a loading bay and driving off in a company van. Freddy said he cannot survive outside of the Pizzaplex as he needs access to the recharge stations dotted about the building to stay alive. This ending, while silly, gives us another key piece to tie into the true ending. We see that, with additional power, Freddy can in fact survive outside of the
Yeah, it could be kept alive outside the Pizzaplex, yeah.
Pizzaplex.
That's if you go through the basement and you go through the part where there's literally just a car, like there's like a van in like the in the garage.
Van E? I don't know. We'll
Oh
wait
no.
to find out.
No. Yeah.
The Afton ending is by far the most elaborate to unlock. Players are required to brave the endgame with no option to save, and must fully upgrade Freddy with all animatronic perks in order to access a secret area below Roxy's Raceway. Taking a one-way trip down a barely functional elevator shaft, Gregory and Freddy find themselves in a cavernous environment, where the ruins of an old pizzeria are located. This is the pizzeria from Five Nights at Freddy's 6. The building Fazbear founder Henry Emily lured Michael Afton, his father William, and the other haunted animatronics containing the remnants of William's child victims before burning it to the ground, finally stopping William Afton once and for all and freeing the souls of his victims. Or so it seemed. In the following game, FNAF Help Wanted, a new malicious character appeared in the form of Green Rabbit Glitchtrap. It is my belief that after being doomed to an eternity in animatronic hell, as seen in Ultimate Custom Night, Afton found a way to escape when circuit boards from the animatronics he haunted, such as Springtrap, were scanned into the game code for help.
Yeah, so I don't know if I remember telling you this, Kratos, but so in the FNAF, it's like in the mobile game, basically what they're doing, it's a company working on behalf of the Fazbear Entertainment, and they're essentially making this mobile game where they scan the circuit boards of animatronics and inputting them into their game. And at one point they this one guy scanned in a circuit board and essentially just created this virus that was spreading like wildfire. And they're like, at some point, like, hey, like this virus is getting out of control. We might need all hands on deck in order to deal with it. And so it's very possible, like, and everyone pretty much agrees that, like, yeah, that's how, like, Springtrap was able to get in these games. And essentially he was trapped, but, like, when, like, the more and more you get these tapes throughout Help Wanted, you're essentially reassembling him. So...
Okay. That
wanted
makes sense.
to speed up development. Afton's remnant or soul residue remained on these parts, and so he found a way to escape his hell and transfer into a digital form. From here, he influenced various beta testers into assisting his return to a physical form, eventually discovering the perfect candidate in Vanessa. So Vanessa and Vanny are one and the same.
No. No.
I don't know, wait, I don't even, like, even right here, everything he just mentioned never indicates that they're the same person. Like, nothing in his justification at all there suggests that it's Vanessa.
Yeah.
At all.
Also...
Well, I don't know how we reached that conclusion.
Yeah. No. Also, this is just... his free will, but scared to disobey. Like, scared to disobey? Like, yeah, but, I mean, that's true, but, like, Vanny controlled. It's, again, like one of the thing, again, there's so much shit that's just like involved in the CDs that just directly contradicts everything about this interpretation. Like, Vanessa literally talks about, like, I locked him away in my memory, and like, although she's like afraid that she might like that like he may break out or of some point, he always just like. He's like, I already dealt with him before. I literally locked him away. And it just seems weird why she would still be suffering from that, or she wouldn't be unbeknownst to it. Again, because it's not like Glitchtrap is controlling him, like quite literally. It's just Glitchtrap manipulates people, and he literally was just talking about how he was manipulating beta testers and shit. There was even a part where like Tape Girl was just talking about one of the other beta testers named Jeremy, and he was the first one to notice Glitchtrap, and before he can totally take control of him and like completely like start manipulating him and everything, or probably just like subconsciously like switch bodies with him, he just straight up takes like those it's like I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called like a paper guillotine or something, and he literally just slices his face off.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. It's brutal.
Jesus.
Do you think her talking about locking Glitchtrap away was referring to the six tapes? No. Like, I mean, it probably might. It's not like they're the same. I don't know if they might even be the same person. I don't know. Vanny might be the same. Vanny might be the same as Tape Girl, but Vanessa is not the same.
Yeah.
They're just not the same. Like, she may have also, like, because we know, like, he could have easily just replicated himself and gone to her mind, and she was able to successfully lock him away and shut him out, but Vanny just completely embraced him. So.
Yeah. We'll bring up more evidence.
The Vanny side of her persona controlled by Glitchtrap, and the Vanessa side free-willed but scared of disobeying her puppet master. Because this location was where William died, it is where his soul is strongest and easiest to transfer from a digital state to a physical one. We find him in a charge station below the pizzeria, powering up into the remains of his Springtrap suit, again a body where his remnant would remain strongest. Glitchtrap has been using Vanessa to hack Fazbear Entertainment security protocol.
That real quick, Surfbone.
Yeah. Has been a bit quirky, but the new has averted.
Yeah, I think it's just going over the quiet. Yeah.
She has attacked patrons, employees, and is recommended. Wait.
Yeah, that's the Monty mix. That's what you use to defeat
Monty.
her. Yeah.
Found him in the same place. We can't repeat the last month. Someone the. Circuit's waiting for a race to reopen. Every time there's a test run on the track, she gets in the way. If she keeps getting in the way, the track will never be fixed. What does he say prior to this?
A body where his remnant would remain strongest. Glitchtrap has been using Vanessa to hack Fazbear Entertainment security protocols.
Well, not Vanessa, no, because Vanessa's like a computer idiot.
Also, how does this at all prove that? I honestly, by rereading this shit, it doesn't sound like that's what's happening, like, at all.
Maybe he's gonna get into, like, the CDs, how, like, Patient 46 was finding them becoming more eerie, funny or something? I don't know.
Yeah, like, they're becoming more eerie, but, like, it's like, I just don't, like, if you're gonna present evidence saying, like, oh, this is evidence that, like, that she's doing this directly, but, like, this isn't, like, I don't know where it's getting implied at all. This is just proving that, like, they're just getting, like, they're changing from what they used to be, like, from being.
And he still hasn't provided any evidence. Yeah, and he still hasn't provided any evidence that they're the same person as well, by the way.
Yeah. Which is funny. I don't think there's any real, like, evidence that just directly, like, again, it's, if anything, it literally, like when, yeah, we'll probably go into the, I'll save it till later when he talks about the fire ending, so.
Yeah.
Explaining why the animatronics turned into killing machines.
The techs have been struggling to fix some serious glitches with a robot.
Oh, so he does get into it, right?
Well, let's see. I guess I'll just...
I'm not sure what exactly is wrong, except that it's making the robots more eerie than entertaining. Apparently, the glitch extended beyond the robots. It went system-wide. It began infecting all the machines, and when the techs traced the glitch back to its origin, it led them to you.
In fact, Freddy comments...
I guess that's better than whatever, like, the previous thing was, but
that's how he was brought down into the depths of the pizzeria with his friends, where they were presumably infected by the Glitchtrap virus. Just like Vanessa, they fell under his control.
I have been here before. She brought me here. I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I did not want to, but I
actually pause real quick. An interesting thing is that, like, if the theory is that Vanessa is Vanny, right? It's like you think that the animatronics who have this, like, grand, like, 8 million IQ would like know that they're the same, right? And even when, like, Freddy theorizes that Vanessa is Vanny, you think that in this instance he would mention her by name and say Vanessa or Vanny when he's saying she brought me here, which he doesn't do, by the way. And you can see Chica right there, by the way, what I was talking about earlier.
That's another thing, just to mention is, like, Vanny, well, not Vanny, is, Chica is just a part of, like, Molten Freddy's just huge ass body. Yeah. I was gonna bring up something else, but I completely forgot, so I guess we're just gonna continue for that from here.
Now I have
if it comes to you, just bring it up.
I have changed. My friends are here. They are so angry, confused.
Glitchtrap now sucks the power from these animatronics, explaining their withered state throughout the game. But more than this, we get the sense that Freddy takes William Afton's resurrection personally.
Stop him.
What was that? Are you okay?
He is trying to take control of me. I do not think I can fight it for long.
He? What is that thing?
Throughout the game, Freddy also acts differently to the other, more hostile animatronics. He makes several strange comments that allude to him being more than a mere robot AI, but rather a sentient being.
Wow.
Oh, stop.
Wait a second.
This is the Michael stuff.
Wait a second. Wait a second. No way. I thought you said that, like, that random streamer said that he was, like, thinking that Michael, like, that he killed Michael or something. Seems more human than an animatronic. He's capable of compassion and empathy. So are the others.
Yeah, like Roxy's literally crying throughout the entire part of the game.
Yeah, like, and also Freddy literally just talks about how, like, well, because Gregory's like, oh, we should destroy the other animatronics and give them your parts so then you can be upgraded. And he says, no, they're my friends. And he's like, but they've been trying to get me every time they come to contact with me. And he's like, well, they would never do that. We're never capable. They should never be capable of harming guests. None of us are. And it's like, that would go against our programming. So that just literally proves that all these other characters, like, Freddy is just not like this exception, like, to this whole thing. We literally do not know why. Like, he literally, like, he's like, but you're different. And it's like, well, I'm going to keep you safe. And then Gregory asks why. He's like, I don't know. we just literally, there's nothing to help prove that, like, Freddy is just, like, besides the fact that, like, he just was not controlled or something, or he was able to resist it. I don't know why it's like, oh, he seems more human than animatronic, when that's just literally not true.
That's all of them. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if he says this is the Michael shit, but I think he might say that stuff.
Also, someone said, why are you calling him Molten Freddy, but has Funtime Freddy's phrase? Because in FNAF, in FNAF, like, Pizzeria Simulator, that's what he's called, is Molten Freddy. Yeah. Because at the end of Sister Location, they all become entered, but then later on, Baby gets voted out of the Enter tribe, and Freddy, like, Funtime Freddy, takes over, and he's called Molten Freddy. Yeah,
because it's just the culmination of everything.
Yeah, but he's like,
and he looks really fucked up.
Yeah. All right.
Here are a few examples.
It's like the whole place is trying to get me.
I am not.
Why?
I do not know. I want to help you. There you are. I was so worried. I will miss you. I am not me.
Now, this is all theory discussion, but my best interpretation of events at this time is that Freddy also contains a resurrected human soul, that of William Afton's son, Michael.
Okay, so he did say this is pure theory talk.
My best interpretation of events at this time is that Freddy also contains...
like, I hate it. Like, I actually hate it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
this makes me hate theorizing.
Look, it's one thing. I get speculation and, like, oh, you want to make something that's, like, an interesting to talk about, and I will, again, I'm not gonna harp on him too hard here because he literally just said, yeah, this is just pure theory right here. There's nothing to support it, but it just seems very unsubstantiated, and I just do not know why you would just randomly believe this. It's just my whole, like, it's our powers scaling, like, brains that we just want to make sure if we're gonna present something, like an interpretation, that we're gonna make sure, like, ours is, like, it makes the most consistent, even if you're trying to say it's, like, baseless or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, at least it's like, oh, this, because, like, oh, well, all this other shit is, it's like, well, okay, well, what about this thing? It's like, oh, well, you could easily just say this thing. So I don't know why he's just randomly bringing up that, like, oh, they can is possessed by Michael. It just, there's no other indication other than I just don't, again, I don't, there's not like he like it like what's the word I'm looking for, attributes like he doesn't have any specific like personality traits or characteristics that just make it really easy for him to like understand like this could be Michael. But
yeah, baseless.
Yeah, and just like Kratos mentioned earlier, it more likely is just the Freddy that we all know from the first game. Because we don't see
it's just
his
that child.
Yeah, it's like, so it could be just that child, like literally. So
contains a resurrected human soul, that of William Afton's son, Michael. Michael Afton also perished in the fire at this pizzeria, and it is therefore possible that his soul remained trapped in this location. We know Fazbear Entertainment frequently cuts corners and reuses parts from...
He hasn't like established any form of reasoning as to why souls would be trapped at a specific location either. He's just assuming that they can get trapped in locations.
Which is never presented. If anything, they've always specified when somebody is trapped somewhere and they can't leave. Like literally with the whole like Lonely Freddy situation, like they literally get they get body swapped and they can't into like the Lonely Freddy and they can't do anything, right? And with this case, like with like with I'm drawing a blank at what his name is. Lefty. Lefty is just literally something that's meant to trap the puppet inside of him, right? And something I was just noting as well was like they were thinking about firing Vanessa as like a night guard during the game. If you went throughout all of like the notes and everything, you would just see like, oh, I know that she was like hired by like some higher up or something, but we honestly just do not need night guards anymore. And I'm thinking of just like getting rid of her.
Yeah.
So it's not like, like if anything, the Fazbear Entertainment is more willing to drop people and say get the fuck out if they don't need you anymore. So
yeah,
it just makes things really weird to try to say that, but yeah.
Older animatronics.
Keep in mind as well, how souls are portrayed. They're portrayed in a very, very specific way that's kind of unique to Five Nights at Freddy's as well. And keep that in mind when he tries to make this next ridiculous claim that, oh my god.
Decent possibility that some of these parts, much like the circuit board scanned for help wanted, were reused from this old location before the new one, the Mega...
This is actually interesting. I totally forgot about was that in the DLC you'll see that like it's like, oh, Fazbear's coming soon and they're like building something. And Steel Wool also made Help Wanted as well, so
it's just like a hint. That's cool.
Before the new one, the Megaplex was built over it, allowing Michael's consciousness to return when Freddy was rebooted after the glitch trap hack. This explains why he's...
Again, there's nothing... It's not like a haunted house where Michael dies there and then he just... If anything, like, literally Henry burnt everybody to... Like, burnt the entire place to the ground, including Michael inside, so that their souls... So they can let go of their spirits, right?
Yeah, and be free.
Yeah, and be free. And there's just nothing to indicate, like, other than, like, because it's not like Glitch Trap technically survived. Like, he died, like, in that location, and he's, like, in hell being tortured by Golden Freddy and everything. Molten Freddy is, I think, is the only one that's ever shown to, like, actually truly have survived the entire altercation, because we just literally see him do everything.
Yeah.
And like everything that's being presented in Security Breach is that Vanny eventually went down there and revived him.
Yeah.
So
is able to hold off his father's attempts to hack him during the climactic boss fight. It's father versus son all over again. After burning Glitch Trap's resurrected William Afton several times, the Pizzaplex explodes, and the child souls trapped inside the scrap animatronics once again rise up to claim their tormentor, dragging him back to the animatronic hell he deserves. William may always come back, but he rarely
remains trapped within the vengeful ghosts of the past.
He manages to stay for very long.
Whatever.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. just let everyone know this is the biggest like hardcore like argument going against the whole Vanny equals Vanessa argument. Is that we literally just like
the fire ending is a curious one. In this ending, we see Freddy and Gregory escaping the complex as they light a fire to burn it to the ground. From the way Freddy says it's time to end this, we get more confirmation that he has a very aware, very human side to him. One who sees.
Oh, it's very human.
That doesn't mean shit.
It's a very human way to just like, yeah, it's time to end everything. Time to burn this thing to the ground. Like. Yeah, that's very human.
It's a very human tendency to want to kill things and kill yourself.
It's almost like they literally have personality chips inside them, so they literally like act a certain way because of like the chips that they have to like indicate their personalities and everything. So
yeah,
seeks to stop Fazbear Entertainment from harming anyone else. During their escape, Vanny grabs Gregory, and as Freddy rushes over to help, both are sent careening over the rooftop, hitting the floor and dying on impact. Gregory unmasks Vanny, and it is revealed that, yes, she is Vanessa.
No,
it isn't.
No! No, it's not.
Keep it playing. Let's do that extra
come on.
However, a post-credit sequence reveals Vanessa to be seemingly alive and well, looking down sorrowfully on the body of a person that looks...
Yeah,
so
a body that
the
looks...
issue here...
the issue here... Like her, huh? Yeah, I wonder... Yeah, do we want to let play here what his explanation is for this instance to try to debunk the idea that they could be twins? Or wait,
do that.
Yeah. Just like her.
Yeah, do that.
So, twins, right? Well, my first reaction to this sequence, before spending time piecing everything together, was that yes, these two are sisters. But if we take into account our previous discussion of how souls become tied to the location they died in,
which is completely baseless.
And this ending instead serves as symbolism. It is simply
he talked about it with the whole Michael thing, which also he literally admits is pure speculation.
Yeah,
it's pure speculation. Like,
yeah.
So he's like, going back to our previous discussion on how souls are can be trapped within places they've died in, yeah, which you also admitted was pure speculation. It isn't based on anything. It's not even based on anything in the books. Like,
and his main argument as well was that, with what he said earlier, was that they're tied to the animatronics rather than the location that they're established within.
Yeah.
Right. And we obviously know in this instance that she's not being tied to any specific animatronic. So if we were to use his system of logic within this specific example, it doesn't hold any value or as any justification as to why her soul was there. And with what I mentioned earlier as well, souls are portrayed in a very specific way. Could you fast forward a second just to get the Vanessa panel up when she's like looking down?
He's saying that Vanessa was never saved.
I'll go. It's back right there. Yeah.
Just go here.
Yeah. Pause real quick. Not only do they not portray her as transparent or in any type of way relating to how souls are portrayed within like Five Nights at Freddy's, she appears to be like a fully functional person, right? Who's like just showing like signs of like ember and sadness that like her doppelganger is dead or whatever. Because in the tapes, it's established that they are working together. Right?
Yeah.
So like it makes no sense. And I'll get you like an example of how souls are portrayed as well. And like this is how souls are portrayed. They're like this is the soul of a child, obviously, but like it holds no reason to suggest that like souls would look any different if they were to be adults. They would just be like restless, like bigger souls looking like that. Right.
Yeah. Like,
and they're shown as gray as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like all souls have been shown to be like this. And again, there's nothing even in the books that proves that that even backs up that this is how like shit works within the FNAF universe, like at all. That like souls get stuck. Again, like I said, if anything, they demonstrate that when souls get stuffed into something, like again, like their soul gets tied to that specific thing and they literally cannot escape. and that's why he decides, you know what, I'm just to get rid of like Henry's like, oh, and so I can get rid of all of them at once, I'm going to lure them all here in this labyrinth that they cannot escape once they enter it, and then burn the place to the ground.
Yeah.
So just no, it's never established that's how things work. So it's again,
it's just weird. Like the series has this idea and way of showing you whether or not something is like a restless soul. And he goes on to state that like she is restless and tied to the like megaplex, right? So it just doesn't make sense for them to try and portray like a soul this way. It literally makes no sense at all.
Well, here's the thing as well, right? So one of the things that like this one like scientist in the books was experimenting with was if you just inject if he was trying to see if you just inject a certain type of emotion into a piece of metal, then it will just come to life. And the one emotion that actually worked to bring a skeleton, like a endoskeleton, to life was agony.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just gonna look. Does it look like she's in agony here?
She looks kind of sad, if anything.
Like she's just sad. Like let's look up the definition for agony real quick. Like extreme physical or mental suffering in the final stages of difficult or painful death. Like
she doesn't look agonized, bro.
No, like she's just looking down at what like. Because, like, I guess you can probably say, like, for one thing, so this is one of my theories for why, like, Vanessa's even there, right? So I'll just probably just go straight into it. So, on, like, the whole Vanny and Vanessa situation. So, we know that via the CDs that Vanny had eventually contacted Vanessa via emails, right? And that they were talking to each other. And the therapists were talking about, oh, things are getting more and more serious between you two, right? And they don't talk about as if they're the same person, right? And they keep, and essentially, if it's like, oh, it's a doppelganger, right? Which is my opinion. She can literally, like, by more serious, she could be like, you know what? I can literally replace you and walk around as you, and nobody would notice a thing because she already knows what she's like and everything. Right?
Yeah.
And she's also being taught as like even like the therapist talking to patient was it like 71? That's the one that's not Vanessa, right? That's not not the one that's Vanessa, right?
46 is Vanny.
46.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 46 like, oh, like when the therapist is talking to 46, she's like, oh, well, I don't think you're the one being manipulated. I think you're the one who's doing the manipulating. It's like, you can easily just say that, that's what she's doing is like, yeah, so you better do everything that I tell you to do. Or I'll just replace you. And then like, she could have easily like done the whole hacking thing, pretended to be a higher up so then she could get hired. And then Vanny can go around impersonating her. And that's why all the technicians think that they see her, but they don't know for sure. So like, oh, it's like, this looks similar to you, but the technicians are just running around like they are like chickens with their heads cut off because they don't have definitive proof that this is patient 46, right? It just looks similar to her, but like,
you know what we should do, Surfbone?
Yeah.
I've timestamped this video. Just let this specific section play out, and it'll just prove this is the that it's much different. That's the much different quote. If you just want to let that play out, just on stream or
do you want to do
whatever.
That? Okay. And this is one of the grandest this is one of like the big debunks as well to Vanny and Vanessa like being the same person, because at first the therapist talks about how she thinks that she's just talking to herself in this one instance, but then realizes that it's something completely different. Like, just listen to what she says.
What's far more different than talking to yourself?
Yeah, like, like here.
The techs were reviewing communications going in and out of this building, and they came across some interesting things. They say you were in communication with someone. Or maybe something. Pretty strange. What do you think about that? Nothing? Well, the techs say it looked to them like it was an attempt to manipulate you, or maybe to lure you somewhere. There, that's better. On this side of the desk, I can see your eyes. The thing is, when I read the communications, I get something different out of them. I don't think you're being manipulated here. I think you're the one doing the manipulating. No comment? Huh? Okay. Then how about this? I have this still shot the techs pulled from the security footage that recorded you in the Pizzaplex. That's you, isn't it? I know this image is distorted, but I think it looks like you.
And the image looks distorted, almost like how Vanny goes around the Pizzaplex, and whenever you encounter her, your screen starts glitching out and everything.
Wait, Surfbone,
Yeah.
distorted kind of like this image, huh? Right here that I just sent you. Kind of distorted like that.
Yeah. And also
yellow eyes, by the way.
Do we want to just like here, let's just look up. Well, actually, I think you've sent it to me earlier, right?
Yeah.
Let me just grab.
Scroll up. Yeah, it's
Vanny's eyes are green.
Yeah.
And in this, they're yellow.
You can't state that that's like a brighter green either. That's blatantly
that's
like
just
golden
blatantly
irises.
yellow, right?
Yeah.
Also, like something to note here, because some people try to use the fact that the eyes are a different color to say, "Oh, that's Glitch Trap manipulating her," and that's how you know. It's like, but that's also not based in anything in terms of the franchise, because if anything, if someone is blatantly, if you've body swap, again with the Lonely Freddy's, if you body swap with someone, actually, like when the Lonely Freddy body swapped with an actual human, the Lonely Freddy's eyes turned green from blue to green, and the actual human stays like their eyes still stay green. They don't turn yellow. They don't turn blue. They stay the same thing. So even if Glitch Trap is influencing her or some way, this wouldn't be proof. If anything, that would just confirm that Vanny and Vanessa are two different people. And this is how to differentiate the two of them, is because they have different eye color. But because this helps build speculation that like between these two, that like let's go back to this part here and I'll like her eyes are closed, right? So then that kind of helps like build the speculation between the fan base on whether or not this is actually Vanessa or Vanny, because we don't know we don't see the eye color, right?
Yeah.
But in these instances, that just kind of proves that this is a big differentiation between them, right? And also, something we just want to point out as well, this is something that like Kratos at some point was like, you know what? I think like I don't know. I'm not super solid on this whole theory, right? But then I remembered there was a literal figurine that came out before the game released where literally Vanny and Vanessa are on the exact same like thing right here. They're the same person, are they? I don't know, bro. This sure doesn't help your case at all.
But by the way, Surfbone, it was
and look at that green eyes.
Yeah, I get the other image as well, where get the protect image too, Surfbone, where it like says protect. You remember the one that says protect? Get that one too. They're like really green in this one.
Yeah, they're super green.
Yeah.
Like, Come
They're like
on.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle green. So,
And like,
it's a massive differentiation.
And if you listen to like one of the trailers, Vanessa like does like just want to protect Gregory and just like they'll never stop hunting you. None of them will stop hunting you. It's like we got to get you out by morning.
Yeah.
So that's more akin to Vanessa if anything. So yeah. So no. Let's keep watching this.
Looks just like her. So, twins, right? Well, my first reaction to, but then this ending, control, and so once Van.
Yeah, wait a second. This ending is symbolic and shows us that as Vanessa was never freed from Glitchtrap's control, her soul remained tethered to the Pizzaplex. No.
No.
Like,
that's wrong.
It's just like, again, nothing to prove that this is, again, never has it ever been a thing in the series. If anything, our interpretation that it's a doppelganger is more like of like a theme in the story, if anything, because because there's always a thing about others stealing others' identity, or like animatronics stealing other people's identity, right? So if it's a doppelganger and she's been hardcore manipulating her to do all these things and says, oh yeah, like if you disobey me in any form of manner, like I will just like take control. I will just basically be you and take over your life and go around as you and just so just her being there will help her, right? So,
and I know it's something that we referenced earlier, but I really think it really needs to be hounded in, is that whenever a big thing for like patient 46, who we're assuming is Vanny, is that like the therapists out her as like this like technological genius, right?
Yeah.
And they constantly state that like when she's on her own, because she likes dark, places and all that, she likes being on her own and not interacting and being socially interactive. It's like, she creates these like animatronics and like these programs that allow her to talk back and forth with herself, right? And that she's been doing it like ever since she was a kid. And then like we mentioned earlier, when like the final therapist takes a look at the communications that she's having with someone else, which is obviously Vanessa, because in like Vanessa's early tapes, they're referencing her being manipulated. She states, at first I thought that it was like another example of you like indulging in self-dialogue with yourself. As I read the messages, I started to realize that it was something far different than what it would be if you were to just be talking with yourself. And if the doctor knows that it's like a split personality type thing, which is what this guy tries to claim, right? She would further acknowledge that it would be something far different within the encrypted messages if we know the other person is Vanessa. It just wouldn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
For them to be like a split personality, right?
And they're just,
of the same
they're just
person.
talking to each other. If anything, they would just be talking to each other in their head, if you want to just say that. Why would they be emailing each other back and forth? And just talking about
it doesn't make sense.
And just like manipulate. Like, it's not like manipulation goes through like, oh, you just see a message and then over the course, like, oh, then your personality change. It just seems so like just like a huge stretch that she'd be flipping between each personality, writing something down, flip to the other one, they talk and flip and flip and flip and flip. Somebody said,
interesting thing to note as well is that like the manipulator is specifically using Vanessa's father in order to manipulate her. That's what they got from the encrypted messages as well. So if you think, right, that Vanny and Vanessa are the same person, right, and the therapist to Vanny is like, you were lying about your childhood, it would make no sense for Vanessa to believe that like what she's being told is true, right, from the manipulator about her father. That would make no sense at all.
Yeah. Also, someone said, baby food before killing Elizabeth, her eyes were blue in the mini game, and now her eyes are green. Yeah, representing her soul. Yeah, like when the animatronics absorb somebody, their soul, their eyes change color, but the humans don't change color. And if that were true, say if this was Vanessa, and her eyes turned yellow because she's being controlled by Glitchtrap. Well, newsflash, people, Glitchtrap has purple eyes. So
Yeah.
no, that doesn't prove anything. Like,
Yeah. People are
it's-
dumb, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's
finish the rest of this dog shit video.
When he dies, her soul remains forever restless and trapped inside the Mega Pizzaplex, leading further evidence to our Afton family.
also
It's not evidence. It's pure speculation, as you
Yeah.
said. It is not evidence.
Yeah.
Further evidence to our Afton family resurrection theory.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, again, it's not proof because you already said that this whole thing was built on speculation. So stop with that.
Explained.
Yeah,
There isn't too much to say about the bad Vanny ending. During their trip through Phaser Blast, Gregory and Freddy discover a secret room near a catwalk above the arena. This is where Vanessa hid away and secretly hacked.
As secret
Vanny
rooms
hid
above-
away.
Yeah, yeah, Vanny.
Not Vanessa.
Yeah, I just think it's funny because something that is consistent with the franchise, it says they have a lot of red herrings sprinkled throughout. That's like, oh, this seems really obvious that Vanny and Vanessa are the same thing, right? And that's what, like, it's like, Vanessa and Vanny. It's almost like if you combined Vanessa and Bunny and combined them together, you get Vanny. It's like, man, it's never ever been that obvious in the franchise ever, right? It's never been that obvious. And
They're
even then-
purposefully misdirecting.
yeah, that's
right?
it's a complete red herring. So, so also just a funny thing just to mention here, Kratos, have you seen some of the what's it called? They're called speed runs of this game.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah. How that basically for some reason this room is just open for whatever reason after you beat Phaser Blast. So then like you can just go through this whole glitch thing and then just end the game by going here.
Fazbear's
That's what I was telling to
systems.
you when
Freddy,
I was
who's
watching
been
you with your
attacked and
playthrough.
Yeah.
dismantled by Vanny's rogue security bots, manages to guide Gregory to the override controls, turning the bots back on their master. This leads to Vanny's gruesome demise as she is ripped limb from limb by her own weaponized robots.
Which is just
We
absolutely
can gain
brutal.
information
Like,
from this ending,
That is
however.
brutal.
Firstly, it confirms that yes, Vanny was responsible for hacking into the animatronics and causing them to go rogue. And secondly, a newspaper article states that despite the mess, Fazbear Entertainment once again plans to reopen.
Yeah, which is not unlike Fazbear Entertainment to just do that. There's even a thing like in the one of the notes that you find throughout the game where one of the complaints that they got was, why are you guys reopening? It's not like people have forgotten what happened to those kids from back in the prior restaurants.
Yeah.
So
in the future, basically confirming more locations and therefore games are coming soon. The final ending is what most would refer to as Security Breach's true closure. To unlock
do people
By the
see
way,
that as
Surfbone?
its true closure though? Wait,
Oh,
what?
well, it's like, I think the idea that he meant there is that, like, Vanny is free and so is Freddy. But
Yeah.
the interesting thing here as well is that in this ending, they don't show you supposedly Vanny's eyes.
it, we must
Yeah.
save Vanessa from her Vanny state, and to do this,
Yeah, you save Vanny from her Vanessa's thing. It's not even, again, there's no implicit things throughout any of this, throughout the entire game, that she's like switching between these personalities and that she's suffering from it, right? And that this is like
Yeah.
a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation where she's constantly switching between these two.
Yeah.
we need to seek out and complete all 3 Princess Quest arcade machines. These pixel art themed video games originated from the mobile version of FNAF Help Wanted. Staff seem confused as to why this game was ever ported to arcade.
Yeah. Yeah. Won't boot properly. No idea why. Shuts down when I try to play. Like it's personal. Doesn't matter anyway. I still find I did it. Did what you wanted. I beat parts 1 and 2. Why won't you turn on? Why else? They're working together. The arcades. They are hiding something. The glitches glitch them all at the same time. And then recognize me. Yeah.
Cabinets, and even more confused as to the strange behaviour these cabinets exhibit, refusing to work unless played in order and never turning off even when unplugged from a power source. They seem almost paranormal, haunted, And, well, that's because they are. You see, Princess Quest is not just a video game. It is in fact Vanessa's digital prison, one created to hold her by—
Oh my god.
Was used by Glitchtrap to imprison Vanessa to keep her and under Afton's control as Vanny. No, it's not even like that's not even talked about in the games, like, either. Like, when Princess Quest was immediately like shown, it's just like Princess Quest was originally just like her collecting all these other things to bring Glitchtrap together, right? Because that's like supposed to represent you going around the game and collecting all the tapes to eventually bring Glitchtrap into being. And again, like, Afton is not controlling her. Like, again, in those other files, like where we see like them talking to each other, again, like, Afton is more just so manipulating her. Man, this is actually like, first I thought like, oh, he was just being like metaphorical with the whole control thing and that she's actually manipulating her, but it's like,
it's literal. Yeah.
Like, now he's like acting like it's more literal. Like, Afton is actually just Vanny. Like, that's Vanny persona and shit. Like
Surfbone. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and let's say that is the case. Even if that was the case, that wouldn't prove that Vanessa is related to this situation at all, right?
Yeah.
Because not only, like, all this means is that Vanny is under the control of Glitchtrap, right? And by freeing her from this, you're freeing Vanny, not Vanessa. Like, that doesn't prove the point that they're the same at all. Even if we did grant him this point.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't prove anything.
Also, if Vanny has multiple personalities, why would freeing Glitchtrap from her control like free Vanessa? Why would that just instantly like make you, like, if you had like a multiple personality disorder, why would just getting rid of like the thing that's manipulating you now, like, just say, oh, now Vanny's like no longer gone, the personality's just gone?
Yeah,
that just seems completely illogical. Like, and
yeah, so like the times in the story when like Vanessa is herself, is she not imprisoned within this machine? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. Like, if anything, I think what's happening is that because who knows, like, it could be that like that was like Vanessa that you just meet at the end of this ending, right? That you like see, because now she's no longer being like manipulated by Vanny to do her bidding, right? But Vanny could also just be like, when Glitchtrap is gone and is no longer being able to manipulate her, she feels lost. So that's why she immediately just, you don't see her anymore. And that's why you only see the mask, right?
Yeah.
Because now,
take note that in the ending as well, Surfbone, someone's like entering the Pizzaplex as well. It would be very weird for Vanny to leave the Pizzaplex and then re-enter the Pizzaplex as though she's been freed somehow. That makes no sense.
Yeah. If anything, yeah, again, she just might seem like lost. Like, no, I don't hear anymore. Where are you? Where are you? Like, just going crazy, and then just like, you know what? This place has no reason to be here anymore. Like, I have to leave. Like,
Glitchtrap after he possessed her while she worked as a beta tester for Fazbear's gaming division, testing Help Wanted. If Gregory finds and completes each of a Princess Quest minigames in order, he frees Vanessa of her digital prison and allows her to break free.
Also, if you're going to talk about shit, by the way, because you were talking about how all these endings are not really canon, right? There's multiple endings to, in the similar in Help Wanted, there's multiple endings that you could get that involve Glitchtrap, right? And all of them are different. And you are just, it's not like Glitchtrap locking Vanessa away. If anything, Vanessa has literally said the opposite in the fucking tapes. That, like, Glitchtrap was manipulating her, but she locked him away.
Yeah, she compartmentalized him.
Yeah. So if anything, Vanessa is not being controlled by Glitchtrap or manipulated by her. Vanny is. Like...
Yeah.
So, completely freaking baseless.
And completes each of a Princess Quest minigames in order, he frees Vanessa of her
pause real quick.
Yeah.
Another thing to note as well is that Vanny and Vanessa have two separate voice actresses too. That's another piece of supporting evidence to state, oh, well, if you want to be like a massive skeptic and be like, oh well, they gave her 2 different voice actresses because they didn't want it to be clear, right, and to be all of that shit. I mean, yeah, sure. If you want to argue something as skeptical as that, then whatever. I mean,
I will say as well that, like, because we obviously have our theories about there may be actual instances within the game where Vanessa is actually Vanny impersonating her.
Yeah.
And it's actually not that far-fetched to think that Vanny would be able to completely impersonate her, considering there's multiple, like, instances in the books where characters are able to mimic the, like, other people's voices, like, to the T. Like, they're just able to replicate their voices entirely. Like, the spring...
Yeah, with the doppelganger theory.
Yeah, so... it just supports the doppelganger theory, if anything, so.
Digital prison and allows her to break free of her Vanny persona. This relinquishing the control Glitchtrap has over her mind. Now able to control her own actions once more, Vanessa's good side takes over once more, and she leaves the Pizzaplex with Gregory and the still functional Freddy Head. With the robotics engineering skills she learned as Glitchtrap's disciple, it stands to reason Vanessa would be able to find...
see her eyes.
What sucks is that, like, it's so far away that you can't really see their eyes, but, like...
At all.
Yeah. And it's not like you can technically be like, oh, because I feel like some people are like, oh, well, it might be Vanny because she's not wearing the like, security guard uniform. It's like, but you literally, like, you have to get this ending by literally ending her shift, basically.
Yeah.
So she might have just actually... like went back into her regular clothes, and like this is like, oh, she's leaving the building.
Because
like,
security guards typically get changed at their place of work within like the restrooms as well, and then change again when they leave. So
it stands to reason Vanessa would be able to find a way to rebuild Freddy eventually. Now, if we bring all of these ending pieces together,
as well. It's also very possible that Vanessa left as well after she called the police on Gregory, right? Because she assumed that everything would be safe for him to like go home and like return or whatever the hell, right? We obviously see her later with Freddy, but like we said earlier, that could just be Vanny. So
yeah.
Can understand the game's true conclusion. Gregory, once a homeless orphan child, now has a mother figure in Vanessa.
Oh, I hate it. I don't like this interpretation that's completely baseless that Vanessa is a mother figure for some reason. Like, it does...
That's not shown in the trailer.
Like, again, all she's doing is just being a good security guard and looking out for the kid that's like roaming around the restaurant, and just being like, you stay right here until the police arrives, okay? And then Vanny comes in and it's like, nah, I'm going to take him now. Just like,
yeah.
Where's this motherly thing coming into play? Again, it's not like she's ever worked with kids either. Like, they've always talked about how, like, oh, she just has, like, very, like she has, like, family problems and shit, but it's not like she's ever worked anywhere else that's like, oh, she's worked with, like, an orphanage or something, or she's worked as, like in any job that involves, like, her working around with kids. She's a night guard. She's not supposed to be working with kids.
Yeah.
So.
Who he has freed from Glitchtrap's control. They were both alone, but now have each other. Likewise, Freddy, who believed he could never leave the Pizzaplex, discovers he actually can, using...
You know, actually, let me look up this, by the way. What's this ending called again?
That's the good Vanny ending.
Because I just thought of something. Bad. Why is this all the bad? I'll just do... Let's see, is there...
It's probably called good ending or some shit.
Good ending.
You gotta put in FNAF, yeah.
Good ending. FNAF security breach.
Yeah, that one.
I guess. Actually, oh man, I'm trying to find the. I'll just look up security breach. Yeah, security breach. Good. Fanny ending. Because I'm trying to find. Wait, does it show it in this one?
Yeah.
What are you specifically looking for?
I'm looking for the part here. You'll probably come across it. Second.
Yeah, he's going through the entire ending.
Here, I'm gonna turn this down.
There we go.
So I want you to listen. So there's the. Listen.
The scream.
Notice the scream is glitchy, right? And then we later see Vanny is gone, right?
Yeah.
And then later on, you see like whoever it is, maybe Vanessa or Vanny or whatever. Like, again, I feel like that whole thing is like, yeah, that scream is Vanny because now she notices that Glitch Trap is gone, right? That she's no longer talking to his kid.
Actually, I think I just realized something. Get up the ending where she's getting dismembered real quick. I want to hear if that's the same scream as she's being dismembered.
She doesn't say anything when she's getting dismembered. It's just like...
There is like a scream that plays, though. If I remember correctly. Or maybe it's when Freddy is getting dismembered or something.
Error.
Let's see. No, it's Princess Quest.
It doesn't matter. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Other power sources to sustain him. William Afton's remains remain locked below the Pizzaplex, trapped with his past demons, the other haunted animatronics. But his son Michael has found peace with a child he finally did manage to protect.
No. Michael, stop.
Perhaps finally able to find closure for the terrible act he subjected his younger brother to all those years ago. And with that, we come to the end of my personal take on the story of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, it's definitely your own personal take, buddy. It's not just like, oh, you thoroughly put an end to everything, right? And just misled everybody, all your viewers, with this, explained thing, when you clearly just brought up like a bunch of theories, some of which are not even like substantiated in anything. It's just you bringing up your own fan fiction and headcanon. Right. Yeah. So that's pretty much the video. So I don't know if there's anything else you would want to just
go over. I think the main thing that I wanted to hammer in within this is that Vanessa is like, in like CD5, it's like she's stated to be receiving manipulative messages. It's stated that the person is like using her like past against her in order to manipulate her. And then later, when they go over the messages from 46's perspective where they think she's being manipulated, they state, no, you're manipulating the other person, right? And just stating that it's far different. I think that's like the main piece. Obviously ignoring the statue, that's like the main piece of evidence to suggest that they're two separate people. And that symbolism argument is complete horse shit, because no souls are ever represented that way.
You know what's something I want to bring up, because I looked back at my notes. Something I also wanted to bring up as well that could help better explain the whole because you know how Gregory couldn't was the only one that could see Vanessa, right?
Yeah. And Roxanne, yeah.
Yeah. And so Into the Pit, there was an instance where the character Oswald goes into like this ball pit, and it's like a time traveling ball pit. And essentially,
Okay.
he goes back, witnesses like the murders of like 1985, and like eventually not Glitch Trap, like someone in a Golden Bunny outfit then like grabs his father, and like takes him in, and now every time he sees his father, he sees the Golden Bunny instead, and he's the only one that sees this. Everyone else just sees his father. Right?
That's interesting.
So I think it's interesting that like we're now just bringing back this whole thing where only one person is able to see a certain type of thing while everyone else can't. And you need like, and again, Freddy needed like special eyes in order to see that shit.
Yeah, in order to see Vanny, yeah. Because he can clearly see Vanessa, so.
Right. Yeah, reference to William in that story. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just William, like, blatantly.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Since he used the Golden Freddy costume to, murder children, so.
Something I just want to mention that I thought was pretty funny that I brought up to Kratos as well was when essentially when the technician, like not the technician, the therapist was talking to patient 46 and was saying like, yeah, like the technicians think that they see you within these security cameras, but because it's not definitive at all, they're just running around like chickens with their heads cut off. And it's like, oh, you think that's funny? Like people who are just so unsure about shit that they're running around with their heads cut off like chickens. And it's like, man, that just sounds like the FNAF community, just literally. Because we just can't definitively prove something, we're just running around just crazy trying to find everything that in order to like establish a consistency for the series. Because like I just think it's weird that I think it's like really interesting that FNAF is like one of the only series, at least from my perspective, that like you can just draw so many conclusions just from going through one game, and how so many people have thought about different things concerning this one series.
Oh, one last thing that I wanted to mention in relation to the CDs is that it's the exact same thing is said in reference to Vanny and Vanessa, or, patient 71 and 46. When talking to Vanessa, they say the thing that we see you here, or someone that looks like you talking to someone, right? And with 46, they say it's someone that looks like you or is something. And then they reference like bunny ears, right? And they go like, oh, are those bunny ears? And 46 just laughs at it. And the therapist is like, oh, you like bunnies, do you? Or something like that.
It's like,
right?
You think that's funny? Like,
yeah, so the something, right, could be Vanny, right? Whereas the person who's being mistaken, right, to be something is Vanessa, right?
Yeah. And you can also like justify the reason why Vanessa, like every time she got pressured by the therapist on like, hey, who's this person you're emailing? That like, basically it could be the same thing where like Glitch Trap was telling Vanny to tell her, don't say anything. Don't like, and like saying like, yeah, nobody knows about this. Like, don't let anybody lead you astray. Don't let anybody like get on to what I'm doing.
And that could be the more serious context too.
Because of anything, the FNAF locations know like Fazbear Entertainment know about William, right? And that's like what the whole like Five Nights at Freddy's 2 thing was supposed to help like dictate, right? Is that they know about him and all this.
Yeah.
What was it as well? And that they would just, it would be like a Freddy versus Jason type of thing where basically they would just know how to immediately deal with him if they knew it was William that was behind the entire situation.
Yeah.
I really want to watch this, but I'm at work. Will the stream be kept up? Yeah, I'll leave it up for like for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I feel like we've established enough evidence to confirm that they're separate people.
Yeah, they're just separate people. It's too like substantiated at this point. Anything that like all the theories that try to say they're the same person are just like unsubstantiated, and there's just hard like there's a whole ass ending that literally it's like a hard, like you would have to really jump through a bunch of holes and and just bring up this weird ass interpretation to like say, oh, well, to make this consistent, I don't even think that is a real person. I think that's a soul. Right?
Like, shut up.
Like, goddamn.
That's ridiculous.
It's not like
didn't...
Yeah, what?
Oh, go on. I'll say it after.
I was just gonna say, it's not like the Fazbear Entertainment did anything to wrong Vanessa to make her at all vengeful to them, right? Like,
yeah.
At least with other instances, like basically all the children that got killed, obviously they're vengeful of William, right? Because they just literally took their life.
Yeah.
But with Vanessa, like, again, she doesn't even know that she's gonna get fired, right? They just said that they might just they're contemplating on letting her go, even though she was
she's not mad at Freddy.
Yeah, she's not mad at Freddy or anything, and it's like, Freddy, I just want to rant real quick, okay? Like, the higher ups are thinking about firing me in this whole thing, and it's really making me pissing me off. I don't know if I want to, like, it's like, you know what, Freddy, just do whatever the fuck you want, okay? They're thinking about firing me anyway, and it's just like, there's nothing, like, at all throughout the entire story that's like that, so.
Oh, it's also worth noting, too, that in, like, the messages, it states that the new security guard at night is completely underqualified as well, right? Yeah. And that she shouldn't be, and that she isn't suited to be a night guard. She's just there by chance, right? And that aligns with Vanessa stating in, like, audio 12 or 13 or whatever that she has to go. She's needed somewhere, is that they can just use, the Glitch Trap and Vanny can just be, like, influencing, like, the status of Vanessa as a security guard to, like, force her to go there or do whatever else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Vanny could be the whole reason that they considered her or deemed her to be worthy, right?
Well, that's what I said earlier, was that it could be possible that that Vanny could have hacked into their system, pretended to like impersonate a higher up just to get Vanessa like a job as a security guard. And like with the whole underqualified thing, that just means that, like, again, they didn't think twice about just hiring her right off the bat and even like giving her like a test, like, oh, this is a higher up, then I guess we'll just hire her on. And it's just like, and then later on, it's like, you know what? She seems kind of unqualified. We might just fire her, like. So.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So I think that's everything we wanted to cover. If we'll probably just leave this. I'm probably gonna end this stream in probably like a few minutes, like 3 to 5 minutes. So if anyone wants to like ask any last minute questions before I end the stream, then like to either of us.
Yeah.
FNAF 2 happened before FNAF 1, and FNAF 4 happened before these two. The Evan's story of Bite of 83. Yep.
Yes, that's fun.
They mentioned she was searching something in her free time, something that like help. How can soul transfer? Yeah. I mean that.
Well, she was
that, honestly.
For, like,
honestly, that could not just well, because like well, we know that Lewis was like has emailed like Vanessa some shit, right? And that could also be like, who knows? It could have been just like a thing where like Vanny actually did like do a thing where she basically infected him with Glitch Trap, and for a while like because something I don't know if I told you, Kratos, but like one of the things that she searched up in that like Lewis pointed out in the emails is like, it's like how to induce compliance, and then the next search was how to induce self-compliance into somebody. So you can easily say that was when like Glitch Trap was hardcore just manipulating her. It's like, how about you search this up real quick? And then eventually later on down the line at some point, Vanessa was actually able to lock him out, and then basically just, it's like, yeah, he's no longer controlling me anymore, but Vanny's still manipulating me, and she could easily, if she wanted to, just like reawaken and unlock that door, right?
Yeah. Doesn't that also lead into the whole reluctant follower thing as well?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And like we know that like Glitch Trap, like especially from like the trailers, what the whole thing was it's like, yeah, when I first found you, you were small, pathetic, but now you are more. Like, are you ready? And she does like say in like some of the back and forth conversations with Glitch Trap that she's like, yeah, I think I'm ready. And I'm ready, and it's like, this is going to be fun.
Different
like,
voice actress to Vanessa, by the way.
Yeah.
In that instance.
Aku, I already told you I'm not answering that question.
They're children, Aku. Stop it.
Oh my god damn. Well, we don't know if Chica, like Glamrock Chica and Roxanne are like possessed by children, because they actually have like their own personalities and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm still not going to answer that question. But no, like I think it's also funny. I think one of the theories that we were coming up with is that Roxanne might not just have like a multiple personality thing, but that like she might be talking to Glitch Trap directly, and like that's why he's able to actually like talk as her and be like, your performance was great tonight, and then she's like, thank you. And it's like, your tail is beautiful, your hair is beautiful. It's like, everyone wants to be you, you're the best. And she's like, thank you, I'm the best, I am the best. And we know that like Glitch Trap's voice is like that, like aggressive and like groggly, right? It's like, I always come back. And then when she talks as Roxanne, she's like, your performance was great. And it's just this whole
it's
thing.
very guttural, very grainy.
All right.
Who
fine.
wins between Monty or Freddy? It's actually an interesting thing within the game that you find is that it's heavily implied that like Monty stole Bonnie's like position by like taking him out of commission. And it's like there's another email stating that he was planning on doing that to Freddy as well, and like taking Freddy out in order to become like the main animatronic of like the group. So
which ends up happening when Freddy leaves with Gregory, like with his full-on body.
Yeah.
And when you leave with the van, is that Monty takes over. And funny enough, I just think it's really interesting that like they didn't bring Bonnie back, but like they just bring in like fucking Mr. Hippo and just add him to the whole thing. Which I think is really funny, like that it's like Fazbear's Entertainment doesn't entirely understand like the children's appeal, because when Gregory came across the hippo magnet, she's like, I got a lame hippo. It's like, I got this weird Mr. Hippo magnet. Lame.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, someone made a comment about the I was first and I saw everything thing that Chica says. I think you want to hate that rubbish.
So after thinking it over, it could just mean that that Chica was the first of like the 4 kids that got like killed by Afton, and not that like he's like the first one to die, because it'll be like, oh, I was the first, I have seen everything. But it's like she obviously didn't see literally everything, because the puppet was the first like one to die to Afton. Like, we all know this. So I just remember hating that line for a long time, but realized, oh, she could just mean that, yeah, she's talking about like, oh, she might have just been the first victim, like in terms of like the 5 kids. I was the first.
That's so ass. Like, it's just wrong if you interpret it any other way.
Yeah. Man, I just remember some people were trying to say, like, yeah, she was the first victim. It's like, that's not true. What are you talking about?
We literally have the whole mini game dedicated to, like, the marionette giving out, like, the cakes to the other children.
Which you end up choosing who gets to be it, right? But it seems like the canonicity is that she was the first one to be given life, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really see a problem with it. Like, even if that is the case, it doesn't really change anything. It's just bullshit.
Okay. How FNAF 4 Illusion Animatronics 8 real? Oh, he said retract it.
I think he's
I think
gonna.
he meant, yeah, he's gonna retype
rephrase
that.
it.
This will probably be the last thing, and then we'll end the stream.
Yeah.
This has gone on for 2 hours. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like 2 hours.
it doesn't feel like 2 hours, no. I'll just say, if this stream does well in post, like, I'll just say this. If it gets to, like, let's see, what do you think, is, like, a good way for, how our 4th animatronics become real in Ultimate Custom Night? So, the whole thing with Ultimate Custom Night is that it's supposed to be William Afton in hell being constantly tortured by the previous animatronics. And that, like, he's literally just in this hell where he's meant to, like, forcefully, like, deal with them constantly and die to them over and over and over again. And that's confirmed by, what was, like, I'm trying to remember what the the off-brand Freddy's name was, but she was just like, you're gonna be forced to to die over and over and over again, and I will never let you leave. And that's what they're doing the entire time. And that's what Bonnie also says as well. It's just like, basically, like, talks to him directly, and just like, yeah, we're just gonna constantly torture you and you're gonna pay for everything you've done, essentially.
Yeah. Oh wait, you want to do that last thing that Arku said? Just our favorite games out of all of them.
Oh yeah.
You go first.
Yeah. Honestly, Sister Location was by far my favorite. It's just like, it was the first of its kind. Like, well, that was like the first time like voice acting became a really big thing, and that was like an introduction to one of my favorite characters in the series, being Circus Baby, because I just found her the most interesting. Because a lot of times you just don't know whether or not she's telling the truth or just straight up manipulating you, because eventually we know that, like, oh, it is like she's trying to manipulate Michael and everything, right?
Yeah.
And eventually you like figure out, oh yeah, it's Michael Afton is going down to like meet the animatronics that William created specifically to lure in children and capture them. And oh, what do you know? When Afton was trying to tell his like daughter to not go near them, eventually gets near them, gets scooped up by Baby and everything, and they're basically having this whole interaction.
Yeah.
It's just like such an interesting tale and everything.
Yeah. Okay, so before I get into my personal favorite, I really liked Sister Location as well, and it would probably be, it's like a hard contender for my favorite if it didn't result in everyone saying the most stupid fucking shit that Michael is the purple guy.
But it's like,
I would have loved.
Yeah, well,
I would
like,
have liked it a lot
technically
more.
there's two, well, because that's what people had to like, oh, there's two purple guys, right? There's William Afton, and then like Michael, literally after getting having his innards later being scooped out and entered going inside of his body and controlling him. So,
but my favorite game would probably have to be Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I loved like the kind of introduction for William, and in terms of like story as well, I really loved like the arcade games that you got to see, right, where you would play as like the marionette and you would be disassembled by William and all of that stuff. I really thought that to me, that was probably the most enriching story in terms of lore for Five Nights at Freddy's, and I kind of loved the old retro type of feel that it had going for it.
Yeah. I thought what was really interesting as well for Sister Location was like the very secret ending. If you end up like beating a lot of this other shit, is that you'll hear like the whole like, "Father, it's me, Michael," and then like he's literally talking to his dad, like William, and just like, "I did it. I did what you wanted me to do," and it just throws in like this whole new story that like, yeah, like Michael was told to go down there by William, and everything, and just like that was like his whole. There's just so many like interesting like ideas that you can draw from like all these other things, and that's what makes me like like FNAF is just like there's so many interesting things, like so much subtlety in these other little storytelling elements, and like some of the games actually help you with like figuring out what the story is behind these games. It's not just this one track thing, and it's like, oh, some of the super obvious stuff are actually just like red herrings and everything. And that's why I think it's more interesting when we eventually came up with this whole doppelganger like theory, instead of just like, oh, they're just the same person, because it's really on the nose and everything. You have to eventually realize, oh wait, this simple solution ended up making things way more complicated.
Yeah,
and you have to address a lot of things.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that Five Nights at Freddy's 1 started off as just this like this hide and seek fucking like, you know, horror game that nobody thought its lore was going to be like expanded upon in such a way that just it obviously has right now. And I think that they've, because originally from my perspective it was just a simple horror game, but they've turned it into something so much more in such a subtle way that it's just it's an amazing series. It honestly is just an amazing series.
Yeah, it's I'm just surprised about how much you can just, like, especially after Security Breach, there's just so many ways that they can just take this series from here. And I honestly do not know where it's going to be going next. And for a lot of people, even though we kind of gently knew the plot of the game, a lot of people were still speculating about how the series was going to end and what it meant for the future.
Yeah.
And
we're still getting DLC, by the way.
Yeah, we're still getting, that's the other thing too, is what is the DLC going to be for Security Breach? I honestly just do not know. Because nobody expected Curse from Dreadbear. Like, nobody expected that. And what was funny, here's the other thing too that was really funny about the whole like subtlety thing, or like some things that are really on the nose, but some things are just on the nose and like we're clearly just being self-aware. It's like, oh, like once you boot it up, it's like, oh, by the way, this is just some DLC. There's no hidden lore or any implications anywhere, so don't try and go looking for anything. And it's like, yeah, clearly not what you're trying. It's like, yeah, that's just like, yeah, there's lore in here. Go look for it.
Yeah.
And like, I guess I as much as I wanted to end the stream off right here, something I just wanted to end off as well is like, kind of just talk about Security Breach a little bit, in terms of like, what we liked and didn't like about it. Because, although like, glitches is one thing, right? I feel like everybody has a problem with the glitches, but one of the things I just want to praise like Steelwool for when it came to the whole like creating Security Breach, they clearly were super passionate about this game, and it and it just oozed into every single room of the fucking Pizzaplex. Literally every room. There were even certain rooms that didn't even need to be there, but they added them in anyway and gave them like personality and everything. Like, they wanted to make it feel like you're in a real place, right? And not that just every single room is just a significant room that will be talked about, like you'll have to be there later in the game, and that's why it's there. Like, it actually feels like a real place. And there's just hidden Easter eggs throughout the entire place as well. There's like the whole like collectible aspect of the game. And there's like little hidden lore throughout like some of those notes.
Yeah.
And I just like that little aspect. Obviously, it was a bit too ambitious to the point where they kind of forgot about trying to make a game that was actually functional.
Yeah.
And while you could play the game, but like, there's certain instances where there might be just soft blocks where you might not even be able to progress the game. That could easily just take you out of it. Yeah.
Cough, cough.
Look. When I found, like, something that I heard, I think I showed you that video earlier about some of the easy fixes that they can make to the game to make it much more streamlined and easier to play, was like, because when you go down the basement, like the first time, and that you decided to go there instead of the prize counter on the third floor, like, you have to go searching for like this one obscure like location of where you're supposed to end the floor at, and where you eventually get caught by Vanessa. I remember like Markiplier was like, I spent over 45 minutes just to look for this one little opening between these two washing machines. And he was just like, oh my god, I spent 45 minutes looking for this thing. And it's like,
Surfbone spent a couple days.
Yeah. And I was just like, do I have to like seriously just restart the entire game because I can't? Because I honestly didn't think that there was a way to leave. So
yeah, or progress. Yeah.
Can
Anyway,
you just walk around the entire game in Freddy? No. Like his battery dies really quickly. And it's like the only times you should be going into Freddy is when it's absolutely necessary. Like if you're trying to go past from like some security bot or staff bot guards. Like his battery dies really quickly, and it's not like there's charging machines throughout the entire Pizzaplex. They're only in specific areas. So you got to make sure you remember where they are, so then you can try to like go to them, then charge like Freddy in there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if there's anything you want to say before we end off the stream here.
No, I'm good. I think we've said enough. Okay. You know.
Yep. All right. Well, anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for all like the 20 people that were like came in and watched the stream. I know this is not something that is primarily like a thing on my channel that I've like really advertised, and I'm more just like a power scaling dude, but I also was just like, this is something like the main whole thing for my channel is that I want to talk about things I like to talk about, and I want to talk, and that's what I'm going to be uploading. It's not always just going to be what other people want me to upload, because I want to be able to do something that I enjoy. So I figured that this would be an interesting thing to upload, and some people said they wanted to see me do it and talk about it, so here we are. So we'll see. I'm more than willing to react to other videos, but we'll see how well this video does. What's like a good estimation? Because I want to say if this gets at least 1K within a certain amount of time, then we'll do another stream. But
1K is fair, I feel.
Yeah, like 1K, like around what time to like know that people really want to see this again?
Well, today's Thursday, so let's give them until like let's say Sunday, until Sunday.
Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
So if this stream gets 1K till Sunday and it's a 2-hour video, then we'll know that people genuinely do want to see more of these streams. Granted, I might, if there's like a certain instance where like a game theory video finally comes out and he talks about shit, then we're just gonna do a stream on it anyway. But if more people just want us to react to other videos, like besides game theory, then we'll just do another stream on that before he posts his. But without further ado, like, thank you all for watching.